Let's take a look at the chart action for Ethereum. All right, so here's what I'm looking at. We have support right here, support right here. Let's do an uptrend like this. I was watching this uptrend and we actually broke below it and closed below it, but we found support down here and broke back into it. Right now we are sitting above it, which I do like. I do like that we did find our way back above this trend line. However, we do have resistance right here, and resistance right here. Let's do another trend line, maybe something like this. When we broke this trend line right here, I set up a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of this trend to the top of the trend, and I'm looking at these Fibonacci retracement levels for limit orders. I have limit orders set on these levels right here. So the first one is the 38% level at 3,674. I had one at 3,700. We came down, hit that level, and got a bounce. The next one I'm looking at is the 50% level sitting around 3,308, and then the 61% level sitting around 3,942. So basically, if we keep trending down, we also have another trend line, maybe something like this. Until we break these downtrends going to the upside, something like this, and maybe something like that, then I'll be looking at these Fibonacci retracement levels for limit orders. And we hit this one and we got a bounce. Right now what I'm looking at is I'm curious if we're going to come into this trend line going to the downside. Let's go ahead and delete this trend line, and we'll delete this and zoom in. I'm curious what's going to happen when we come into this trend line right here. Are we going to be able to break through it and then break through this one as well? Or, I mean, what's going to happen when we hit this trend line? That's the first step that we got to think of. So we have resistance right here, giving us a downtrend, and I'm curious if we're going to get rejected or if we're going to be able to break through it. If we start trending back down, what I'll do is take profits and I'll set up my limit orders again at this Fibonacci retracement level, maybe somewhere around 3,700. I'm going to give it a chance to break through though. I want to see if we can break through this and start trending up, but I am very curious about this trend line right here, and I'm kind of cautious about it, should I say. If we delete everything, the other thing I've been looking at is the 9 moving average, or that's the other thing I like to look at. Right now we are below it, and it does look like it's giving us a little bit of trouble right here, right where we're at. If we could break above it, I think that might be a good signal. We might even see a nice little pump if we could break above this line right here. This 9 moving average sitting at around maybe 4,077. So the main thing I'll be watching right now is the 4-hour time frame. We have resistance right here, we have this downtrend, and it looks like we're coming into contact right now. We also have this 180 moving average. It might give us some trouble. It might push us down. I think we might be targeting around 4,144, or that might be a level that might push us down, back down to this Fibonacci retracement level. And let's go ahead and go over the Fibonacci levels again. Let's put up some orange lines at these levels. We could have a horizontal line right here, maybe something like that. And then another one right here, another one right here. Now we can get rid of this Fibonacci box and kind of just look at it like this. So right now we're on the 4-hour time frame. We're watching this downtrend like this. I'm watching these Fibonacci retracement levels until we break up. And I'm kind of watching this level right here. This one was another one. This one is sitting at around 4,100, I guess. Let's do a red line right here. Let's do another horizontal line right here, and we'll put this one possibly red, in my opinion. Let's see if we could break above this one or if we're going to get rejected right here. Like I said, 4,144, and then the next one down is around 3,700, in my opinion. And what I would like to see us do is, in general, break this trend line going to the upside. I want to see Ethereum go up, but this trend line looks like it might give us some trouble. Let's jump over to the total crypto market cap. All right, so here's what I'm looking at. We have resistance, resistance, resistance. I've been looking at this downtrend like this. Until we break this downtrend going to the upside, I've been watching this previous support down here at around 1.82 trillion. So we have this orange line right here. Let's actually drag it up a little bit. I think it's going to be a little bit higher than that, like around 1.82 trillion. So until we break this trend line going to the upside, I'm kind of thinking that it might come down, and it might come down here. But in the meantime, let's jump over to the 4-hour time frame. This is the time frame we were looking at on Ethereum. So What I was looking at right here is we have resistance, resistance, and we have a trend line going to the downside. Let's actually delete everything and we can see it a little bit better. We have a downtrend, something like this, and then we also have a support line, maybe something like this. That support's not perfect. It looks like you could also probably use these ones as well. It looks kind of like a channel pattern almost. So maybe we're looking at more of a channel pattern, but it looks like we're breaking out to the upside right now. Maybe we could drag from the top to the bottom of this channel, drag this to the breakout, and we're looking at a target of approximately 2.40 trillion. It also lines up with this 180 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. Let's take a look at the daily time frame, and what it also seems like we're doing right now is breaking above the 9 moving average on the daily. So we have this blue line right here. I always talk about this 9 moving average. I would way rather be above it, and it does look like we just broke above it. Let's see if we can hold above this. Maybe it can give us some support and it could push us back to the upside. As you can see too, we have this big old huge green candle right here that we got yesterday. So that looks like a pretty good sign. And if you look, we have this 180 moving average, this orange line. We came down, got support on it, and it looks like we're bouncing off that. So like I said, the main thing I'm probably watching is this downtrend right here. And then we have another downtrend right here. It looks like we're breaking the first one, and it looks like we might be coming in to test that second one. So let's see if we could keep this momentum going to the upside. Once we start, it looks like we're breaking this one, so this is a nice little start. If we could break this one, this will be even better, and I'll be a little less confident about these lower targets on some of my coins, like 41,000 on Bitcoin and some of the lower ones on like Ethereum and the other ones. So right now, it would be nice to see us break through, and let's see if we could do that. Like I said though, let's jump over to the 4-hour time frame where we're looking at on Ethereum. Let's delete everything. The main thing I'm watching on this 4-hour time frame is this right here. We have this little pattern, maybe something like this, and I'm kind of curious if we can maybe complete this little pattern. Actually, like I said, I think it's more of a channel pattern like this. This one makes a little more sense. We have more points of contact. Maybe do something like this, drag from the top to the bottom of the pattern, drag to the breakout. I'm looking at something like this on the total crypto market cap. Let's see if we could do that. I think even if we break this level right here, we might be looking at these levels right here, but this target does kind of line up with this, so I'm not sure. In general though, I think if we can break through this little resistance, we might be looking at this one right here, and then maybe we can start trading in that level, or that zone, should I say, right here. If we jump over to the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, here's what I'm looking at. We have support right here, and it looks like we got some support right there. Let's do a trend line going up like this. And in general, this is one of the trend lines that I'm watching right now in the shorter time period, that as long as we're going up, Ethereum's doing better. And if we break this trend line going down, that's a signal that Bitcoin might start taking over. In general though, if we zoom out a little bit more and we're on the daily time frame, we've had a big huge run up like this. We've had this big huge uptrend, meaning Ethereum has been doing better than Bitcoin this whole time, or it's been outperforming it, should I say. And the main thing that I'm watching is kind of this resistance right here, this resistance, support. We have kind of like a flag pattern. Let's set it up real quick. We have something like this, and then we have a bottom like that, and then we drag from the top to the bottom of this flagpole like this, continuation pattern, drag this to the breakout, and we're looking at a target somewhere up here, which in my opinion lines up with this previous top over here. We could do a horizontal red line right here, and this is an area that I've been looking at for a while now, and it looks like we broke this going to the upside. It looks like we are sitting above this top over here as well. Let's go ahead and delete this. It does look like we are above this little top right here. I'm kind of curious. That's why I've been watching this little trend line right here. So far, we are still holding support on this trend line going to the upside. If we break this trend line going to the downside, then I'll start looking at Bitcoin a little more than Ethereum. Ever since we've been running up like this, I've been very interested in Ethereum, but as soon as we hit maybe like these levels up here, I'm going to start maybe thinking that Ethereum might need a correction, or maybe if we start breaking like this, maybe not even need a correction, but maybe Bitcoin will start performing better. it might be a clue that Bitcoin might start performing better anyways. But until we do, it looks like Ethereum is doing really good compared to Bitcoin. Like I said, as long as it's going up, then Ethereum's doing good. And like I said, daily time frame, we have this little trend line going right here just to watch this for now. That's what I'm watching. I'm kind of curious though if we can come up and hit this flag pattern target and one of the previous tops. There's another previous top that actually was even higher. If we zoom out a little bit, we have a top right here, and then we have a top right here. This is the one that I'm kind of shooting for, but I'm curious if we could even come up to these ones. So yeah, Ethereum to Bitcoin does look pretty good, and it has been looking good for a while now. So if we jump back over to the Ethereum chart, this one is actually my personal Ethereum chart. The yellow lines are my positions and the orange lines are my limit orders. Right now the price is sitting at right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but let's see if we can keep this channel pattern going to the upside. It looks like we've been bouncing in between these two trend lines like this. Let's see if we could get a bounce let's see if we get a bounce right here where we just bounced. Let's see if we can start pushing up, break this trend line, and start shooting for the next level. I've been targeting around 6,000 in general, so let's see if we could come back up. Let's see after this bounce if we could come back, start breaking through and start changing the direction after we've been moving down. Let me know if you guys like Ethereum. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button.